What's up, y'all? So today's video is actually a suggestion made by this guy right here, and he wants to know how we can implement SurveyJS with user authentication and save the surveys in a backend, and also implement SurveyJS as well. Now, this is a bigger project, so this is going to be a three-part series where today I'm going to be covering how to do user authentication using Auth0 and how to set that up in our application. The next part is going to be implementing SurveyJS only for users that are logged in. And the final part is going to be setting up the backend for SurveyJS to store the surveys for each user whenever they log in. So I've actually already made a quick demo of what we're going to be doing today. So basically, whenever we go to localhost, we can go to /profile or login or whatever, and then we get redirected to a login page. And we can create our own user, or I've already made a user, so I will just click login. And once I log in, I'm only able to see a specific user's profile page and subsequent survey items. Now, of course, there's nothing in the survey because we haven't implemented it. But this is what we're going to be doing today. Is we're going to be implementing Auth0 and creating a quick nav bar, a logout button, login feature, and yeah. So let's get into it. Alright, so go ahead and open up your code editor, and in your terminal, let's just create a React app. So I'm just going to do npx create React app, and I'll call it SurveyApp. Alrighty, so we're just going to let it keep doing its thing, install our React app, and we're just going to keep going with the tutorial. In the description below, there's a link to auth0.com. This is what we're going to be using for our user authentication. You're going to see a page like this when you click it. You want to go ahead, if you don't have an account already, click sign up and sign up with whatever method you want, Google, GitHub, or just your email. Alrighty, so since I already had an account made, I just went ahead and logged in. Now, when you do create your account, or if you just logged in, you're going to see this getting started page right here. Go ahead inside of our dashboard, which is right here on the left hand side, go ahead and click applications. Alrighty, so once you click applications, there's going to be a button right up the top right here called create application. Just go ahead and click that. And I'm going to name our application survey user app. And I'm going to click single page web application since we are using React. And once it's loaded up, we're going to go ahead and which technology we're using. We are using React. And you're going to see a page like this. So what this page is responsible for is you have two options, where one, you can learn how to integrate Auth0 into your own application on your own, or you can go ahead and explore the sample app. Now, we're actually going to be doing it manually, so you can get a feel of how to do it yourself and learn as well. Alrighty, so before we do actually start implementing this into our application, I'm just going to quickly run over what the main stuff of Auth0 is, such as the callback URL, logout URL, and loud web origins, so that we have a better understanding of what we're doing and why we're really doing it. So the first one is configure callback URLs. Now, what is a callback URL? A callback URL simply is when a user authenticates, they will be redirected to a URL of our choice. So we're going to set the callback URL to be our regular localhost 3000 since we aren't hosting our application anywhere. So for configure logout URL, it's going to be simply when a user logs out of our application, we want to send them to a certain link, which is just going to be, again, simple localhost 3000. So the last one is allowed web origins. Now we're going to have to set up an allowed web origins, because if we don't, our users will be able to automatically be logged out of our application the next time they visit our site or even refresh the page. Cool. So now there's a brief overview of what the most important stuff is about Auth0, callback URLs, logout, and allowed web origins. We're not going to worry about verified JWT token signature settings. But I know I've probably said this like 20 times now, but we're going to start now. Alrighty, so if I go back to my code editor, we'll see that my React app is finally done installing. And I'm just going to go ahead and start her up. So cd into our application, npm start. Alrighty, I'm just going to move this over a bit. There we go. I'll get rid of our old one. And just change the size of the browser. Perfect. Open up the source. Let's just see what we have cooking. Cool. Alright, so I'm just going to go back to our documentation. And I'm going to go ahead and install our dependencies that we need. So I'm just going to copy this. And go back into our application. Paste it. And let us do its thing. Now, while it's doing its thing, we're going to go ahead and create a folder in our source folder called history. Oh, whoops, utils. Utils. We're going to call a file. We're going to create a file called history. History. Am I even spelling it right? History.js. Cool. And we're just going to go ahead and import this code into there. Save it. And let this just do its thing. Most likely we're going to see an error. Oh, no, we're not, because we haven't imported it. So you might be wondering, what kind of dependencies did we just install? So if we go back to our documentation, we'll see that we have two things that we installed. Auth0 SPA, and the other one is React Router DOM. Now, React Router DOM is what I covered in our last video. It just helps us to be able to route between pages really easily. Makes everything a hell of a lot easier. And Auth0 SPA, sorry, Auth-SPA is just JavaScript SDK for single page applications. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add our Auth0 React wrapper. You're going to see there's a whole lot of code, so don't worry about what it means. You can obviously go into documentation and scroll down. Right here it talks about what we're doing and why we need what we need. So we're just going to go ahead and create a new file in our source folder, and we will call it auth0 dash, what did it say to call it? React auth0 spa.js. It's a mouthful. Just paste the code in there. Cool. Alrighty, so for next step, we're going to be just grabbing whatever navbar that they give us. I'm not going to go ahead and recopy and paste what I made in the last tutorial into this one. I just want to keep it simple, functionality over looks. I'm also going to resize the browser because I can't see a damn thing. So inside of our source folder, like they say right here, we're going to create a new folder called components. Components. I've been doing this a lot. Oops, I got to make it into a folder, not a file. Like I was saying, we've done this a lot of times, so it should be second nature now. If not, no problemos. So we're going to create a new file called navbar.js. And we're just going to go ahead and copy all this code right here and put it into that file. This is just for our navbar. It's basically saying, this line right here is saying, if it is not authenticated, we're going to render the login button. If the individual is authenticated and logged in, we're going to render the logout button. Alrighty, for the next step, we're going to actually integrate the SDK into our application. So go ahead and copy all this code, and we're just going to put it in our index.html file. And don't worry, it's already takes into account for all the previous imports and everything. So where is it? Right there. Paste it, save it. Now it won't work because we haven't actually imported our auth config JSON. And so to do that, if you scroll a little bit lower and you can see, oh, right there, it shows us how we're going to do that. Now what we're going to do is go into our source folder, and we're just going to create a new file called auth_config.json. And we're just going to go ahead and copy this code and put her in there. Save it. Now, if you don't see your domain or client ID there, what you can do is scroll all the way to the top, click on settings, and you can see your domain right here and your client ID right here. Go back to quick start. Go back to React, scroll all the way back to where we were, which is right here. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and open up your app.js file, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy all of this code right here and just paste and replace all of this right here. Cool. So now if we actually go back to a React app, you can see we're almost there. We're basically there. We can click login, and oops, I guess I forgot to set the callback URL. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're actually very close to finishing user authentication. But we're just going to go ahead and add localhost 3000 here, here, and here, like it said earlier in the quick start guide. So let's save that, and if we do localhost again, click login. Now we see, oops, I don't want to do that. Click login. Okay, yeah. Well, I already recorded this before, and it seems to not want to do what I wanted to do. So yeah, you can log in, and now you can log out. Cool. So we have basically set up user authentication, but we're not done yet. We still need to create a quick profile page, and we'll make our own custom URL to be able to go to do surveys. All right, so I just went back to our quick start guide, and we were at this checkpoint. We just checked it out, and it seems to be working pretty well, actually. We have a login button, logout button, and we can register a user. So now let's create a way to be able to actually create a profile page for a user. So to do that, we're going to go ahead in our components and create a new file called profile.js. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy all this code right here. Basically what this is it just uses auth0, use auth0 react auth spa to be able to show a user's picture, their name, their email, and some extra stuff. Alright, so now that we got that imported, we create a profile.js file. We're just going to go ahead and actually import in our app.js to be able to create a route for that. So we see right here that they say that new import the React router components and profile page components. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this stuff right at the bottom right here. Copy it, and we see a navbar, so we're just going to get rid of this and paste it, save it. Take your time, cool. Now if we go back to our React app, click login, and we see that this is what we should have seen the first time we click login, but it was being funky on me. So we can actually now sign up and click login. So I already created a user, a@a.com's fake. Click login. Now once you click login, you see that we can go to /profile, and we see once it's done loading, take your time, their profile or the user profile, and you see their email, their picture, and the extra stuff that I was talking about, nickname, whether or not they're verified or not. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and log out, and let's go back to our documentation. We're going to go into our navbar.js file, and we're going to implement the links for the actual navbar. So when we actually logged in, you saw that we actually have to manually type /profile. This is what's going to prevent us from doing that ever again, because that stuff is not good. So I'm just going to copy all this stuff right here. Oops. And I'm going to leave these two imports here because they're useful. Paste it right there. Now this doesn't work because it's also very funky, very weird. So to make it work, what you want to do is just add a div, simple div, and we're going to cut it right there, put it right down there. I'm going to get rid of these two dots. I'll add a bracket right here because that's driving me crazy. Save it. And if we go back to localhost 3000, if we try and go to, try and log out, try and go to /profile, we'll see that now we're stuck at loading, and it's going to be stuck at loading forever. So let's fix that. So to fix that issue, what we're actually going to have to do is secure the profile page. Now what I mean by secure the profile pages means that you can't just type /profile and be able to go to a profile. We don't want to let that happen. So to fix this, we're going to create a new file in our components folder and call it private route.js. And I'm just going to copy all of this code right here and paste it in there. And while that's happening, I'm also going to apply it to our /profile. So if we go into our app.js, I'm going to import this private route right up here. And I'm just going to take this line and replace it with this one right here. So now we turn it into a private route. Now if we go to /profile, we're going to see it still doesn't work because technical details, it says that callback URL mismatch. So if we just copy this and we'll just put in our callback URL, let's go back here, server user app, and I'm going to put it in here. I'm also going to put it in web origins and logout URL because it did say it in the very beginning of the documentation. So let's do this again. We go to localhost 3000 and let's type in /profile. You'll see now it asks us, ooh, you have to log in because it's a protected route. So no one can just randomly go in there because they feel like it. And we can go to /home, but there's nothing there. Profile. Now this home is actually different than just /. This home is actually just part of the nav bar. So we can actually add this to our own private route, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. But cool, so now we have basic user authentication set for our application. I'm just going to do a couple tweaks, add a quick survey button. So we're just going to replace this home, just add a do a survey nav bar button and just says hello there. Cool, so let's try and log out, and I'm going to try and see if I can break this thing. It shouldn't break, hopefully, but if we go to /localhost /profile and we log in, and now I just get rid of the tab, I just open up again, if we go to localhost again, cool, we're still logged in. So that issue is not happening where with the, I can't remember if it was the web origins, with the web origins, we insert in here, so it's not automatically logging us out if we get rid of the tab or refresh the page. Alright, so now what we're going to do is create a new file. I'm going to call it survey, just call it do survey.js. And I'm going to copy all of this code that's already in the profile page and put it in right here. I'm going to get rid of this because we don't need that. I'm going to rename the profile and we'll just do survey. And I'll just get rid of all this stuff right here. I'll just do an H1 that says hello. Also get rid of the fragment. We don't need that either. Div, oops, cut, paste, and move this back a piece. Let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of this. Save it. Now, this isn't imported, so let's import it now. So it's going to be in two places. So inside of our app.js, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm trying to add a private route. And we'll just do let's do survey at ex. Let's get rid of exact. I'll just put in component is equal to do a survey. And automatically imports. That's actually pretty cool. And since it's just for app, we also need to put it into our navbar. So we go into our navbar, and we'll just link to that too. So it'll just be survey ex. And right here, we'll just do survey ex, save it. See if it fixes it. Cool, we go to survey, and now we're actually rendering the component with React Router, user authentication, all the jazz. Cool, so now we're done with the user authentication part of the application. We have a way to see users, to be able to manage users, create users, register users, and next part, we're actually going to be talking about and covering how we can implement a basic survey into our application only when a person is registered and no other time. So this is just part one. Next one's going to be part two. The last one will be part three, and that will conclude this mini series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this first part. The second part is going to come out in 2 days. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.